Hello everyone and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia. This is episode 245 as we close in on that magnificent number 250. We are recording live in some of us are locked down, like me, on a Saturday afternoon. It is September the 4th, 2021. This episode we will be talking about Hasbro's Fan First Friday reveal from last week, which is a rather big bot that's going to be crowdfunded, and as stories have turned out, it seems there's a lot of new Masterpiece news to discuss. So all that and more is coming up after this. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. It is a Saturday afternoon, so it's a little bit of an unusual time for us to be recording the podcast, but thank you for joining us and thank you for listening and watching, as some people are live at the moment as we record. Joining me this afternoon, I have Daria coming to us from Canberra. How are you doing, Daria?
Hey, yeah, all right. We also are locked down.
You are also locked down. That's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
It's a bit mean, yeah. And coming to us from, I'm not sure if he's in lockdown or not because Brad is coming to us from an undisclosed location somewhere in country Victoria. It is the also longest serving member of the podcast team alongside me, Brad Mull. How are you doing?
Yes, from the sovereign state of me. I am not in lockdown.
Brad has actually seceded from Australia and TCCA, just so that everyone knows.
Mm-hmm. I want to see those permits. No permit, no entry.
That's probably a good practice in actual fact.
Just think, 2 years ago we couldn't have made that joke. How funny!
yeah. Look, it's been an interesting couple of years, changing various aspects of life, and now suddenly permits and visa jokes are the norm. So yeah.
Yep.
So how's it been going? It's been a couple of weeks since our last episode, I'm in lockdown, so like the same thing happens every day as happens to everyone else. But it's been a few weeks since we've had you two on. What's been going on? Anything notable? Anything interesting?
No going out, no collecting toys, not doing a great deal.
Down here.
Yeah.
I'll say there's no going out, but there's definitely still collecting toys because Amazon is still delivering, and there's still plenty of stock arriving.
Oh, unless you're a faithful brick and mortar shopper like I am, there is plenty online to do.
That is probably a bad a bad position to be in if you're a faithful brick and mortar buyer. But yes, oh well. Well, yeah, there's not much to be done about it. How about some? We move on to some news. I feel like there's only so long that we can milk the fact that nothing happens in lockdown. So let's bring in the screen share and we'll talk about some news because there's some things that have been released around the world and they will be hitting our shores soon, depending on how you get your bots. So the first of these, when we're talking about new releases, we like to talk about overseas releases first. Excuse me, just hiccuping there. Which we like to talk about overseas. Yeah, I know. I couldn't have hiccuped for the rest of the morning. Just I have to do it now. We like to talk about overseas releases first because they're newer, and then we talk about local releases. So. First of all, being the start of a new month, Hasbro has released a bunch of new Transformers overseas. So we're looking at a leaked shot of Kingdom Road Rage. This was a shot from a video that was published a few weeks ago. Not sure who it's from. It was some YouTuber. Very clearly showing what Kingdom Road Rage looks like. She is still kind of unannounced by Hasbro, but she does seem to be sort of an out-of-wave release, sort of like Kingdom Red Alert a couple of months ago. So No real word on whether or not she's coming to Australia officially or not, but there is a box with a lot of them coming to me to distribute to TCCA members, so that'll be cool at least. Kingdom Road Rage is right there. Any thoughts on it there? There's like the tracks mold has been controversial in the Kingdom figures. Anyone got any thoughts on it?
Do you have the tracks mold,
Oh.
Daria? No, you're right, Daria. Do you have the tracks mold?
Not the Kingdom one, no.
Not the Kingdom one? No.
So you can sort of see around the feet, although this angle doesn't really show it. The foot assembly is kind of shit. It's like the feet are held on with a sort of a hinge from the side, so it's a little bit weird. There's a large gap above the feet, but as long as you sort of elevate yourself to sort of more than 10 degrees above the eye line of it, it's kind of okay. You can blur your eyes and tilt your head about 5 degrees, and it looks okay.
And basically, as far as I can tell from this, new head, but otherwise pretty much red tracks.
Yes.
So
very much red tracks with new head. Yes.
Which is her lot in life. I mean, I've got the masterpiece of her, or I may have a knockoff masterpiece of her. I'm not sure, but there they retooled the hips a bit. But like all the others, yeah, this one looks fine. If you like Road Rage, I'd say pick her up. If you don't or hate the tracks mold that much, don't.
I think that the release of Kingdom Road Rage has actually caused a lot of people to dig out other Road Rage releases, and I've seen the masterpiece making its way around Instagram and Facebook and Twitter a lot more in the last few weeks, and I think people have sort of gone out. I think we've forgotten how nice the masterpiece tracks mold actually was. There's 3 releases of it. I think it was Tracks, Road Rage, and Loud Pedal. I'm not sure if there was a 4th or not, but it was a really nice Corvette vehicle, and it's been. I think that was a good few years ago. It's MP25 and 25 and 26 and 25L. So it's been a while since we got a Road Rage toy, and so the fact that this is coming out now has really stirred fans of the character. And I think people are kind of willing to look past the fact that there's issues with the tracks mold that it's not to everyone's liking, and they're willing to just buy it because they like Road Rage.
It's weird. It's sort of one of those characters that's been let down a fair bit in the toys, as you said, masterpiece. But there was no Generations, Tracks or Road Rage.
Well, there was a Shattered Glass Tracks, which sort of counts as Road Rage, but officially it wasn't actually Road Rage. So like I think Daria, you probably know better than me. I think was it the Thrilling 30 release. There was a Tracks that sort of came out of the Wheeljack mold, and then they turned it red in Shattered Glass on one of the BotCon releases. And it is actually really nice. It's up on my shelf up there somewhere.
I think that started as a Reveal the Shield mold.
Right. Yeah. Reveal the Shield Tracks. You're right. Yeah. So I'm more familiar with that mold for the Wheeljack, and also the same mold was used for the Battle Chargers in BotCon. Battle Chargers have also been recently redone in Kingdom. So there's a lot of going back and redoing a lot of these releases from the last sort of 10-15 years coming from Hasbro at the moment. And we're going to see that continue into next year. But Kingdom Road Rage. To be perfectly honest, I've forgotten if I've actually put myself down for one of these units. I may have, because I think it does look pretty good. But if I haven't, I won't miss it. There's not that many figures out of Kingdom that I'm looking to acquire. I'm
happy with my masterpiece of her. The Tracks and Road Rage, etc. masterpiece. It's not one of the grand masterpieces, so she's actually not much bigger than a deluxe getting on for Voyager. So she's happily ensconced amongst her fellow Autobot cars at the moment, and I'm happy with that. But if I hadn't got that one, I probably would pick up this one. I mean, granted, the thing I like about her character twist has never been used in any fiction, but I still like it, so there.
You're gonna have to tell us now.
Oh, her original bio had her kind of like the Mr. Walker / Mr. Wheeler from the old Goofy cartoon. That she was going to be very calm and reasonable in robot mode, but would get angry and belligerent in her vehicle mode, hence her name.
Oh, that's good. It's a good name if that's going to be the gimmick. Yeah, fair enough.
Nice.
So it is interesting. There's not a lot of characters that actually have a different personality as they transform into different modes. I mean, the one that really calls to mind for that is actually Grimlock from Cyberverse, because Grimlock's quite articulate in robot mode, but he's a big dumb dino in dino mode. So yeah.
But I like it that it's not that she switches like to an entire different identity. It's still her, but now she's angry and belligerent, but the same person. And same with Grimlock being erudite and smart to big dumb dino, as you say, but he's still him.
Yeah, that's right. So nice. Yeah, look, we will start to see some road rages appear in Australia in the next couple of weeks. They were released September 1st, so it's the 4th of September. It's been out for a few days. Things have been put in the post and mailed out and sent out to people, so they won't necessarily all be coming from me. A lot of people order things from Robot Kingdom and the likes. Yeah, you can definitely expect to see these start appearing on Twitter, in TCCA, Facebook, Instagram. They are definitely out there. The other figure that is quite notable for its release this month, being 1st of September, is the second Kingdom Battle Across Time pack, which I have a terrible low-res thumbnail that looks like it's from the 70s here. My apologies for that. When we were preparing the podcast, I thought, no, that's fine. That's okay. And now I look at it, I'm like, really, that is really terrible. So it's the second Battle Across Time pack from the so named Battle Across Time collection, which apparently only has 2 releases in it thus far. It is Sideswipe and Skywarp. So Sideswipe is an Earth mode sort of Lambo. But I mean, Sideswipe is the figure that so many of us have been waiting for ages, because the Siege Sideswipe mold was fantastic, but not quite an Earth mode Sideswipe. We got Kingdom Red Alert a couple of months ago, and it was Sideswipe in Siege became Red Alert in Siege, and it was like, oh, that's really good. And then Kingdom Red Alert is just so much better than all of them. The colours are brighter, everything. So it makes a more Earth mode Lambo. Looking forward to that for this Sideswipe. You can even just see from the photos when you're not looking at the shitty low res one that I've put up here. The red is more vibrant. The white is more vibrant. Whereas the Siege ones all had a slightly muted colour palette. So really looking forward to this. And the Skywarp retool and redeco of Kingdom Air Razor. Now that I've seen the Netflix series, and I'm a little bit more predisposed to like Air Razor, which makes me more interested in Skywarp. So previously in acquiring this set, I may have offloaded Skywarp, but now I'm thinking maybe Skywarp has a home somewhere in my collection. How about you guys? Are you interested in the set, or just one of the figures from it?
No, I've got a Sideswipe. I'm happy with. I see the appeal of this one, and I know how much people have basically been clamoring for the definitive Sideswipe out of this trilogy. But I'm not so Sideswipe attached that I need to get him all over again. And
you're not starstruck by Sideswipe. Oh, try saying that 10 times fast.
Yeah, good on you, Hasbro, for putting the one bot everyone wants in with a repaint.
They're both repaints.
Yeah.
Well, they did that with the last Battle from Time, except I think different people wanted different single bots, so I think that kind of worked out for a lot of people.
That was Mirage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Lots of people wanted Mirage. I wanted Grimlock, and I still do. So.
Have you found a Grimlock for yourself? Because I do know a few people who are trying to offload their Grimlocks.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I haven't yet, so yeah.
All right, we'll just stay after class and we'll talk. We'll talk about it. I will hook you up, which is a thing that I do these days. I alluded to this earlier when we were talking about the release of this being quite significant in September, because when it was initially announced, it was for release in December. So this is very early. It's come out 3 months ahead of its US release in Asia. I don't know whether or not the December release will hold for the US, because like surely they can get stock over to the US before then. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be. Doesn't seem like it's necessarily going to be coming out any sooner in Australia. So if you're up for this set, you can get it off Amazon if you're willing to wait. Or you can import it for kind of about the same price, maybe plus minus $10. See how it goes.
Do you know how long it takes to get stuff here from Asia?
Oh, it's very fast.
Or to the US on boat.
On a boat. Well, don't get it on a boat. Then send it via email. I mean, look, most of the stores that you order stuff from now will send stuff via air instead of by sea, or at least the option is there, and it's usually fairly affordable for a small thing as well. Anyway, let's move on. So those are the notable overseas releases for this week. There's one massive notable release in Australia this week, and it's because it's notable because it's something that we haven't really had much luck in acquiring. It is the War for Cybertron. This is going to take a while. Please feel free to come back next week when I've finished saying the name.
I hope you've got
it is the
down.
Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Buzzworthy Bumblebee Worlds Collide 4-pack. Or multi-pack, if you like. It is so it's notable because it's something that has come out with very little fanfare from Hasbro, but it's also had a very limited release. It made it out in Hong Kong in Asia, but it didn't make it to Singapore or Malaysia, which is where I get most of my stuff from. We've had a lot of people very disappointed trying to acquire this from overseas, and we did hear from Hasbro that it would be coming out this month in Toy World stores across Australia. That's exactly what's happening. Toy World is not a chain of stores that operates off one particular central thing, though. So over the last few days, we've seen it pop up on the Toy World Canberra website. And of course, once that link then gets passed around to everyone in TCCA, Toy World Canberra sells out. So then a few hours later, it's popped up at Toy World Mackay. The link has gone into the group. A few hours later, it sells out. Then it pops up at Toy World Rockhampton. Link goes into the group. Then it sells out, and so it's $159.95, which it is. It's a little bit expensive for what you're getting, but it's also not too bad. It's 3 deluxes. Now we're tempted to call the deluxes $30, but let's be realistic and call them $35. So that makes 3 deluxes, that's $105. And Optimus Primal is a Voyager figure, so $50. So that's $155, maybe $160 if you're playing with some of the more expensive prices that crop up around Australia. And $160 is exactly how much you'll find it listed for at most Toy World websites. The last appearance of this figure was on the Toy World Noosa website, where it goes for $160 instead of $169.95 instead of $160. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's in the ballpark. And considering that it's a very sought after release, like this is actually something where if you've got a figure in this lot that you don't want, you could legitimately cut it out of the plastic and stick it on eBay and someone will buy it. There's people looking for every one of these bots. I am actually, out of this set, I'm really looking forward to the Nemesis Primal, because it's a deco of the Kingdom Optimus Primal that I didn't expect to get, and it also looks really awesome. He's got this teal and purple and black, and he's got a slightly different head sculpt. It's a real standout figure in the set. There is also Fangry, which a lot of people who collected the Titans Return Grotesque. Is it Fangry? Yeah, it is Fangry. Other figures in the set. It's been a very slow release for the group, but Fangry's here, and there's also the Black Arachnia repaint using, I think it was either Prototype or one of the toy catalog color schemes. So it's a deep cut into Transformers lore and reference for this Black Arachnia figure. Also pretty cool. And then there's Bumblebee, which we've got tons of Bumblebees already, but whatever, have another one. This Bumblebee is the Bumblebee that we thought we'd get all along as a redo of the Cliff Jumper mold. We didn't. Like, this is the first time that mold's actually been used for Bumblebee. We've seen the Netflix version of Bumblebee had the Volkswagen shell, so he was a little bit different. But yeah, this is more akin to the Cliff Jumper version that we've seen. And Bumblebee comes with a little Allspark as well as a little extra accessory too. So it's a very interesting set. And I think at the time that the set was rumored and announced and started leaking out, I think a lot of us sort of discounted it as sort of like, oh, well, why would I want that? That's a bit weird. But like, just looking at this photo on screen here now, it's just, well, yeah, you know what? I'm pretty happy that I placed my order at Toy World Canberra for this set. So I'm happy. It should be here next week. It will be next week's new acquisition to talk about.
Were you the smart one ordered before you shared the link?
No, someone sent the link around, and I just went, I'll have that, and then I shared it.
Yeah, but you're right, Daria. It is completely random. I didn't know who the pink one was. Are we paying $179 just to get a Tarantulas repaint out of the Black Arachnia mold? Because that's sort of what it looks like.
Probably not. I'm actually less interested in Black Arachnia, and I'm more interested in Nemesis Primal, to be honest.
He does look good. He does look good in those colours.
Fangry I could take or leave, and Bumblebee I'm happy with regardless. Like, I really like the War for Cybertron Cliff Jumper mold. So yeah, he's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean,
so it actually
I'd say
looks
if there was
like
a headliner for me too, I'd go for Nemesis Primal.
Yeah, I've seen photos of him online, and like, you can't actually see that much of his purple from this photo. Like, it's more black, but the purple and the teal, they really play off each other really nicely. So yeah, really happy with it. The teal is also slightly shiny if you look at his leg there as well. So yeah, I'm really up for that Nemesis Primal. And
wrist cannons.
Yes, yeah, I'm pretty sure that mold in general has the wrist cannons, doesn't he?
The cartoon didn't.
Oh, you mean the Netflix show?
Well, yeah, that thing. Yep. Oh. He didn't use him. His signature weapon. They didn't let him use it. Anyway,
let's be honest. The people who wrote the Netflix show probably forgot that they exist. But yeah.
Out of nowhere, Black Arachnia has her original toy face.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. This is a reference to the Black Arachnia is a reference to like the original toy announcement, I believe.
But it's also the same as the original Tarantulas because they just repainted the original figure and didn't retool it, which is why I thought it was originally just a Tarantulas and they'll full circle. The original figure was a repaint, and here we are, we're just repainting Black Arachnia, which is why he's still top heavy. But no, it's, as you said, toy.
Yeah, and those are usually more Tarantulas than Black Arachnia colours.
Yeah, well, I think that's what Brad's getting at. But my understanding of it is that it's a reference to the first reveal of the toy or something like that. But I'm less familiar with exactly how that goes. So it could go either way. Either way, like, I think I've spent the last 5 minutes talking about this pack. I'm really excited for its arrival this week now. So like, I'm pretty happy. I've got Grotesque from Titan's Return up on my shelf up behind me as well. So I'll stick Fangry up there with him. Yeah, whatever.
And as you said, when you sort of listed off the size classes and that, it seems to be a good price for what you get in the box.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like, it's slightly above what we would consider the RRPs, but also consider that deluxe RRPs tend to go up to about $40 these days, and Voyager's up to $60. So if you take them at the top of their price range, then it's a good value. All right, so that's enough of that on local releases. Before we get on to news, and we've lost Brad. I think either Brad was offended by that, or his internet has just died. That's okay. Let's continue on, Daria. Before we get on to talking about news, I did want to mention a little update from Amazon Australia as well. Brad has returned. Brad is back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Brad. Little update before we go on to news. I wanted to talk a little bit about Hasbro and Amazon. So there's been a lot of turmoil on Amazon Australia listings in the last month or so. So I don't think there's any reason to think that you won't get the things that you're after, but I think there's been some kind of a transition and change in how Amazon handles Hasbro orders. So we've seen a lot of release dates slip, and some products have been removed, and some products that were going to be removed all along have been. So there has been a $42 Black Zarak sitting on Amazon Australia on pre-order for the last couple of months. Clearly, they're not going to sell a Titan class figure for $42. So to be perfectly honest, I only pre-ordered that because I was hoping for the $10 apology credit when Amazon realizes their mistake and cancels it, which they did this week. They've removed the item from the website. They've cancelled everyone's orders for it. They didn't send any $10 apology credit, and some people have... I know, it's pretty disappointing. Some people have been calling into question Amazon's pre-order price guarantee and saying, look, why can't we force them to give us the Titan for $42? And I was like, it's never going to work that way. Amazon's pre-order price guarantee does protect them from mispricings, and this is obviously a mistake in pricing. You're not going to get a Titan for $40. So if you are looking for, if you're genuinely looking for Black Zarak, you can still pre-order him from a number of places out there. All you need to do is really just Google, Generation selects Black Zarak pre-order. Take your pick. There's lots of places out there to get him. Being a Titan, he's probably going to come in at about $300. And if you order from somewhere, if you're lucky when you order from somewhere, you'll get it a little bit cheaper. And see how it goes. I think he's due around December. I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, if Amazon's been playing fast and loose with your delivery dates, just courage. If you're annoyed by it, go and chat to their live chat, and you might get some apology credit out of them. But yeah, I think it's likely that you will get the things that you've ordered. See how you go. Also, just a little note that on screen we do have the. There's two things on screen here, that one of which we've talked about, the Sideswipe and Skywarp set, the Jurassic Park set. It is a better picture, even though it's technically smaller. The Jurassic Park collaborative is also on screen here. It's currently unavailable. It did go up for pre-order at a really good price of $90, and it since then went up to something like $180, $190. So Amazon hasn't cancelled the $90 orders yet. It may honour that price because... but I mean that is also a pretty good price for a leader figure and a deluxe. His leader's RRP is $90. So if you ordered it at $90, you might get it, but you may also find your order cancelled by Amazon. We'll see how we go. But keep an eye on your emails from Amazon, because they seem to have awoken to their mistakes in the last week or so. Everyone's nervously looking at the Jurassic Park clip.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We talked about this when they announced it. We both pre-ordered it for that $92. And been seeing emails of pushback dates and price increasing. I won't be buying it for $120, $190. I've talked to others in the Jurassic franchise as well. Transformers collectors already have the Beast Wars Megatron, so they don't need this. And Jurassic Park collectors don't need this because Mattel's just released the proper figures for $49. So... yeah, I don't know what market they're trying to get out of this, but going up to 190.
There's a very specific center of the Venn diagram that they're going for with this set. It's where two circles overlap, and it's not just Jurassic Park fans or just Transformers fans. Like, it's all well and good to have the Jurassic Park Mattel versions of the figures, but they don't transform, man. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's important. Yeah. I would actually argue that T-Rex would be a better stand-in for the Tyrannosaurus Rex than Megatron, given that T-Rex is at least red, which is closer to the brown color instead of bright purple.
Not purple.
It's true. But the Jurassic Park Jeep, I'm genuinely interested in that because it is a new mold. There's the collab line has actually seen a number of first offs with some mold releases for things. And not only new molds but also some extensive retools. We saw Studio Series Jetfire turn into the X-Men collab Ultimate Expanse. Maverick, the Top Gun collab, was a brand new mold. Yep. And what's he called? JP93 is a stupid name, but a brand new mold here as well. So yeah. So yeah, if you just keep an eye on your Amazon orders, if you're nervous about things, maybe put in a pre-order at some other stores, somewhere that you can cancel it if something happens before release time, and see which one ships first. Keep your wits about you if you're nervous about missing out on these figures. And there's a comment from someone there saying, I'd be very keen for a Jurassic Park MP10. I am pretty sure that I've seen someone customize a Jurassic Park MP10. Does that ring any bells for you, Brad?
Oh, no. It's sort of hard because Prime with that silver stripe's almost a reverse what the JP Jeeps already are. I'm guessing his MP10 is meaning the original MP10 Prime.
I'm not assuming that it would turn into a realistic JP car, but I mean, like, surely Jurassic Park had semi-trailers for, like, moving stock around, right? So, you know, like, they could do something.
They love decorating MP10, so...
Yeah.
It's really not paddock.
I reckon you could probably take one of the Nike Atmos MP10s and just say that's the Jurassic Park one already.
Yeah.
Give it the Nerve version of the MP10 EVA trailer, and you're probably done.
Yeah, all I can think is the medic/COVID response vehicle, like Simon posted up in the group when all hell broke loose. That's all I can really think of.
Yeah, anyway. It's true. Oh dear. So anyway, that's that. We've spent a long time talking about new releases. Let's get on to some actual news. Last week, Hasbro revealed its second Transformers HasLab crowdfunding campaign, and it is for a relatively obscure for Western audiences, but well known amongst Transformers fans figure. It is the HasLab Victory Saber crowdfunding campaign. He is it's two characters. It's Star Saber and Victory Leo. They combine. They do all sorts of the things that you would expect to see. And as you can see from the screenshot here from the live stream, the guy who designed it on the left, Evan, is very happy with himself. And why wouldn't you be? Like, it's pretty cool. I think I said before when we've been looking at the Hasbro reveal live streams, find someone who looks at you the way that Evan looks at the toys that he's revealing. Like, he's clearly having the time of his life with this stuff. So, like, I'm quite a fan. I think it's great. So we're getting some size comparison has been a bit hard. Like, Hasbro's revealed this stuff and they haven't given a lot of information on things like dimensions and weight and stuff like that, which I assume it will come out in the fullness of time, but we are looking at about a month and a bit for the crowdfunding campaign. They want to reach 11,000 orders, which is about 50% above where their Unicron limit was. However, this is a $180 crowdfund, so I think this is something that's a lot easier for people to throw down money for, and possibly for people to just sort of save up for a month and then put the $180 down, possibly on the 8th of October. Numbers close on October the 9th, and I'm not sure what it's currently up to, but I checked the other day and I think it was at about 5,000. But
I'm checking right now. It's 5,577.
Yeah, cool. All right, so it's right on the halfway point. Mark. Yeah.
Is that combinable as Hound?
That is Siege Hound.
Hound.
So he's a deluxe. So we're looking at Hasbro's dudes on screen holding up Star Saber, who to me looks genuinely like a Commander class figure. He looks the size of Jetfire because there are feet that are off the bottom of the screen that you can't see.
Force perspective.
Let's not go there.
He looks satisfyingly chunky though.
He's chunky. He's definitely chunky. Yeah.
He does. There was also a very specific call out. There was a very specific call out on the live stream. Evan, who's the product designer on the left, Evan said that he was really looking forward to getting a Star Saber figure that was not the masterpiece.
Oh,
And I think that's true of a lot of people. If you recall, back in the very early days of the podcast, I ordered Masterpiece Star Saber live on one of the podcast episodes. Mm-hmm. So, like, there is a Masterpiece Star Saber somewhere in my house or in my storage cage, but that's fine. But I am also looking forward to getting this. I reckon he looks kick-ass. I have never watched Transformers Victory. I don't know very much about him at all, but I think it looks great. And so I am happy to throw down my money for this. It is a pre-order. Oh, sorry, it's a crowdfund through HasLab on Hasbro Pulse if you are in the US or the UK. It's $180, and if you're in the UK, you get completely fucking screwed. It's £180, which is a lot more than $180.
Yeah.
However, if you're not in those territories, then your purchase process for this is a lot more straightforward. You just need to pre-order it, and you probably need to get your pre-order in by the crowdfund cutoff date, which is October 9th. And so stores around Asia have it up for pre-order, and EB Games and Zing in Australia have it up for pre-order. The EB Games price is $380. It's
$369.
I was 370. I'm sure it was 379 when it came out. But anyway,
I was just double checking basically because I figured we were about to talk about it.
Yes, fair enough too. Thanks. So look, the eBay price is higher than the currency conversion price, but it's always going to be, right. We have different consumer laws, we have sales tax, and also it is not free to get this stuff to Australia. Like, people have to pay for shipping. So it's $370. You pay your money, you take your choice. You either import it from somewhere else, or you hashtag support local and buy it from local stores here. Either way, the campaign ends in the early days of October. I think there's quite a lot of confidence that it will actually make its funding goal. We are over a month away from the end of the campaign, and it's at 50% after. I think it's after 1 week, it's at 50%. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to get made. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the way that they've announced this. They've used a lot of CG renders and unpainted prototypes for it, but I think it's pretty disappointing that they haven't actually given people a look at how this thing will look in colour. And I would really hope that they do this before October the 9th rolls around, because the crowdfunding campaign for Galactus that recently finished, when they launched it, they had these glossy finished Galactus with this gorgeous purple shiny surface on them, and it just looked amazing. And here for Transformers, we've just sort of got an unpainted prototype, and it's like, here, fund this. Like, they could have
I'll see a Galactus and raise you a Unicron.
Well, at least Unicron was announced in colour, but then Unicron had a slightly controversial colour change. But whatever happened. I think ultimately it didn't. That's a storm in a teacup. But it would be nice to actually see, hey, this is what we expect the finished product to look like in colour. It's like, at the moment,
they've even gone.
Go on.
I was going to say, they've even gone as far as putting digitally rendered images not representing your final product at the bottom, just to further stir that teacup. That's why I sold Unicron. If they painted this one way and it didn't come out the same way again, they would have a flood of cancellations, and just like Unicron.
Maybe, yeah. And maybe
possibly.
Maybe that's part of why they didn't show color on it yet. But I do think that if you're asking people to actually fund it, it is actually beholden on you to show people. I mean, you could put color on this and leave that disclaimer at the bottom. It's not representative of the final product. At least this time they managed to spell product correctly. The last Fan First Friday reveal, all the disclaimers said product. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Lost in translation.
It wasn't translated. It was English. So anyway,
English is a very hard language.
It is, especially for Americans.
All right, so we've all praised it. Now, why? As you said, we've got the Masterpiece version 23, 22 in there somewhere.
He's 21.
Yeah, they're going. Yeah, they're going for these new. Okay, let's take the original mold and make it more cartoon accurate, or here making the figures a little bit better. Why not make it an MP? Oh, either a new MP number or a 22R realistic or something, like they've done with other figures.
I think that's
I don't know why
that's an interesting question, and they did also mention that there was a I mean, naturally there was a Takara designer involved in this as well, but I mean, why can't they have a Star Saber in Masterpiece and a Star Saber in Chug? It's not like characters need to be exclusive to one line or the other.
Well, so this is supposed to be a Kingdom Star Saber and not.
No, he's more of a Chug Star Saber rather than Kingdom.
Which is why.
I mean, by the time this comes out, Kingdom's done. It'll be a distant memory.
Yeah. All right.
And bear in mind that next year's line is going to be drawing characters from all over the place, and so this seems appropriate to sort of slip into next year's product line.
No, I just feel they could have put an MP number on it, doubled the price, and still sold more than 11,000 of them. Especially being a Takara Japanese company, being an Asian character in that.
I do feel that it is a Masterpiece price. There's a lot of people gnashing teeth about the $370 or even just the $250 if you just convert the price straight over. But I do think that it's about a Masterpiece level price. Like the recent release of Masterpiece Starscream was somewhere between $250, $300, and $400 depending on where you bought it from. So
yeah, I mean, I'm peeking at the EB Games website still, and the flat out Masterpiece 52 of Starscream is $499. So this is even less expensive than some Masterpieces, or at least one.
Yeah.
I would hazard again. I would actually caution that that price is way out of band for MP52. MP52 should be about $300 to $350 shipped in.
Which is still
that's if you buy
this
from
range.
Oh, it's totally in this range. That's my point. Is that it's about the price of a Masterpiece, and people don't generally complain. People don't generally complain about Masterpiece prices, except they have the last couple of years since MP44 came out. But you will note that we all happily accepted 100 to 150 as the price for Skids and Reboost, and said nothing else about it.
Yeah.
So we're not exactly consistent in our feelings and our approach to this stuff. But again, I think that's fine. I think that's an acceptable price for this guy. We know that the Australian price point for a retail Commander class figure is $150. Maybe a little bit higher as you sort of get into the second half of the year as prices have gone up. And this is a Commander class figure and then some. So I don't mind it costing a little bit more. I'm not going to be getting it from EB Games, but if you do, then that's fine. Like I said, a lot of people like to support local. Brad, you just said that you're a dyed-in-the-wool bricks and mortar purchaser. So, that means if you want this, you're paying $380.
No, I don't want this. I didn't even get the Masterpiece version. It's not a character I need to get. Yes, if I did have to get it, I probably would go online through you just to make it a cheaper version. But, yeah,
it's fair enough too. I can certainly import them cheaper than the asking price locally for members.
No. EB Games sort of were thumbs up with the fans of Unicron because they were the cheapest game in town to get that figure, but for most of the other stuff,
let's talk about that a little bit, right? So, if you take $500 and you convert it to Australian dollars, you get $850, thereabouts. I'm reasonably sure that the way that this ended up as EB's price for Unicron was that someone at Hasbro threw that number into an email. Somewhere in EB went, right, we'll have that, and then they're like, well, hang on, that's not no. You said 850. We've already published everything on our website for it. It's too late. The price is $850, and Hasbro is like, all right, fair enough. Yeah, no, that's okay. So, I genuinely think that EB's pricing of Unicron was probably an accident, and it probably worked in our favour. It's probably due to Australian consumer protection laws. They probably couldn't take that away and then go, well, sorry, actually, it's $950. We have to make some money on it or something. But I do genuinely believe that price was a mistake. Especially because the other things that have been priced since then from eBay they've all been a lot more expensive than here, take the US dollars and convert it to Australian. But that's whatever that is, it's retail history now. It's done. Very, very amusingly, so the situation with Unicron, since we're talking about crowdfunds, we'll talk a little bit about Unicron. The situation with Unicron has definitely changed in the last 6 months, where people have gone from, that's stupid, blah, 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 to, I want that. I didn't get it when it was available in pre-order. Now I'm getting screwed for $2,000 if I want. People have, as happens so often, people prejudged it based on what they saw online and went, nope, don't want that, it's stupid. And now it's come out and they're like, yeah, kind of want that. Just this morning, one of my suppliers in Asia messaged me and said, oh yeah, I was looking in my storeroom this morning and I found a Unicron, do you want it? So I dutifully found them a buyer. There's plenty of people out there, if you put a deal in front of them for Unicron, they will buy it, especially if it does not cost $2,000.
I was going to say, what's he on YouTube, eBay at the moment? Probably 2,000 or 3,000.
Look, Daria, you're the one with the web browser open. Do you want to look at this? Wait, just do it in an incognito window, because otherwise you're going to have Unicron ads following you around for the rest of time.
The Chaos Bringer comes.
Yeah, well, the Chaos Bringer wreaks chaos on your bank account, but I will guarantee you it's more than like the $1,500 that eventually this will probably cost you to import.
The results are slightly polluted because everyone's selling off their earlier Unicron figures. Now they've got this one.
So a lot of Armada Unicrons on there.
If you try searching for HasLab Unicron, that should narrow it down.
Yeah. Here we go.
This is like a remote control web browser. Hey Siri, show me an overpriced Unicron. Okay, going to eBay. Anyway, so back to HasLab.
The only one in Australia, is $2,295 plus 99 postage.
Suffice to say, the one that I just sold someone this morning was a lot closer to the $1,100 mark.
Are they paying for fuel and driving it themselves? I shipped mine for $26. Yeah, I know, but it was cheaper. $26 for that big box, and it was gone.
I have no idea how you shipped a Unicron for $26. I'll be
Australia
brutally
Post.
honest.
Love it.
Yeah.
Or don't. I don't know. Some things like that is magical, and then I go in there with a box like that.
Yeah, and it's like, that's $5,000, please, sir. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Victory Saber. I'm in on it. I kind of don't care how it ends up looking. It's just, for me, I do think that as a point of order, I think they should actually look at. They should actually be looking to reveal a more complete picture of it in the coming days, preferably, but weeks before the October 9th launch. So,
sorry, just to close that off, if you are going to go through the US to get one, the lowest price I have here, including post and package, is $1,850.
Is that US dollars?
That's our dollars, Australian dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, just close that tab and back away slowly.
Yeah.
And also enjoy the ads that will follow you around for the rest of the time on the internet now selling you a Unicron. So yeah, I'm in for Victory Saber. I'm looking forward to it. He's looking at a mid 2022 release. It's not specific yet, but I'm sure there'll be more details come to light about that in the fullness of time. Any other thoughts on the crowdfund?
Well, they had the actual physical one there that possibly was just a non-transforming stick together thing to show off, and these pictures being renders. So it was a physical prototype that they had on the stream, and they did say that they weren't going to transform it because it was a I don't think it was 3D printed. It was like a resin cast prototype or something. It was very early. And I get why that wouldn't be painted in final colours or the colours they want, but considering the other ones are digital mock-ups of what the figure's going to look like, there's no reason why you can't just throw some blue and white and red on that. And
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway.
I do think the previous Fans First Friday reveal, which was 2 weeks before that, they showed the prototype of the Coronation Starscream, and someone on Twitter commented that I was just like, "Well, we haven't seen that leak out yet." And I was like, "Well, it's because it's a QC QC or QA prototype." It's like that stuff is not going to walk out of the factory because it's not in the factory. It's like I'm wondering how long it's going to be before we start seeing leaked Star Saber figures roll off the assembly line. We'll see. But yeah.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on from Victory Saber. We've talked about that for a little while. We're going to stick with some masterpieces for the rest of the show. I think we're finally seeing Bumblebees Buddy. Cliffjumper is making his way out as a new masterpiece mold. We never got Cliffjumper in the original Bumblebee mold. We got the red Bumblebee, but that was a little bit different. So it's pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see that we're now going to see a redo of I think it was MP45. The new little Bumblebee is going to make his way out as Cliffjumper. We've seen some pictures of it leak in the last few weeks, which is very unusual for an upcoming masterpiece. The way that these pictures have been leaking, but leak they have. This one is possibly the first time that we've actually seen it with sort of a shiny red paint job finish on it. Nice blurry photo, thanks Jay Khan. It does show that there's quite a bit of change from the Bumblebee mold to Cliffjumper, which you'd expect because he's a different car. Some of the transformation is slightly different inside where the arms fold up because there's a little bit less different clearance based on where things end up on the Cliffjumper mold versus the Bumblebee mold. I think it's awesome that he still looks like a cute little toy car though. That was always the case with the mini-bots, is that they were meant to look like the penny racer or the arcade racer or the super deformed toy versions of these cars rather than a realistic sports car. They were meant to look like toy cars. So I'm really happy with seeing that come through into the masterpiece figures.
Yeah, that's pretty sleek. I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm up for it. We don't have robot mode pictures in this leak, unfortunately. But I mean, his robot mode surprise looks like the robot Bumblebee. He's got the weird thing going on at the back of his feet. Takahara's just not interested in fixing that on this mold. Apparently, whatever, they'll do a 3.0. It'll fix it. It'll all be better. So yeah.
Any more praise before I tear the shit out of it?
But you please commence tearing.
This would go on the shelf beside your Toy World B. Super deformed. I understand the original characters, the original
when
cartoon
you say Toy
designs.
World B, do you mean the one from the Worlds Collide pack we showed earlier?
No, Toy World, the free third-party company Toy World BII. They're super deformed Bumblebee, which I think I've still got.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not familiar with that one, but yeah.
Masterpiece is supposed to be accurate cars or vehicles. We've started seeing that little bit of a blend into cartoon accuracy, but for the most part, you see the car sitting there, you still recognise it. Yes, it was a merger of a Porsche and something else because of licensing and everything else, but so was Prime, so was other cars, I'm sure. I don't like the super deformed aspect of it. It might be the way the photo's squished. I hope the photo's squished and not out.
No. This is totally how it looks.
Yeah, no, I am not a fan of this at all. I prefer to have that red Volkswagen as a Cliffjumper. I don't like it.
So I reckon once this comes out, you'll probably find people will take the head off this and stick it on the MP21R and just go, right, that's Cliffjumper. Because people, when the Bumblebee version of this mold came out, people were just like, yeah, no, I'm sticking with MP21. And in many ways, the Kingdom Bumblebee seems like it uses many of the ideas from MP21 because the Masterpiece line's moved on to MP45 for Bumblebee.
Have you still got the third-party one that come off the big cannon? It was in the glass.
You mean the third-party Cliffjumper? Ace Toys Tumbler.
Ace Toys, was it? Yeah.
One of the most maligned third-party releases ever.
So it didn't do the squished car mode.
I kind of liked it, but like it's been left behind by others. Like you would find much better third-party cliff jumpers now, and things like X-Transbot's Toro now. But
the engineering's moved on a fair lot since then.
It certainly has. Like I've considered getting an X-Transbot's Toro, and I think Fans Toys is doing one, and I've considered getting them. But like once this got announced, I was like, well, I'll just get this.
Yeah.
I'll be much happier with this. I haven't even opened Masterpiece 45. Like he's sitting under my desk here. I really should open him up.
The only way I'll get this, looking at this photo, is if I can grab it by the roof, drag it back, and it went click, 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 and let it go, and it'd go flying. That's the only way I'll buy this.
You could do that if you did that on a downhill slope.
Flick it.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, pull back and go in the Masterpiece.
Yeah, just to be clear, Brad, you're saying you want a Masterpiece throttle bot.
Well, this.
Wait, sorry, a throttle bot or a sparker bot?
Oh no, that's sparks. You can't have sparks anymore. Young kids would get in their eyes or light fires or something with it, like they did in the 80s. But this might be a turning point if they're ditching the semi-authentic looking alt modes to go for fully cartoon accurate alt modes, then we might start seeing rehashes more of what we've got in the past. We might get a super deformed Bumblebee coming out of this, and some other figures as well.
We've already got that Bumblebee.
Yeah.
It wasn't
MP45.
Yeah, but it was still clearly a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Volkswagen Beetles are more super deformed in real life than these.
It was as deformed as it should be. On the scale of 1 to deformed, it was all the way up to super. But yes. So anyway, look. There's no release date, price, or any information on that. But like, given how far along this guy is, like, it looks to me like he's sort of incoming pretty fast. I mean, this is looking more advanced than the Masterpiece skids and reboosts that we saw when they were first revealed earlier in the year, and those guys aren't coming out until December. So I kind of feel like when this gets announced, it might get released pretty fast as well.
Yeah, give it a couple more weeks, we might have full release or full announcement, bot mode, accessories, the whole works. So we'll return to it when that's done.
That will also be one of the deciding factors for this. Also, is going to be what accessories will it come with, and it is
none.
It is a silly
in a clamshell, in a Masterpiece clamshell.
I hope he comes with a massive gun, but like it is kind of the thing is that now it's not just about the figure; it's about the accessories as well. But most of us leave. Well, I say most of us. I leave the accessories in the box. I don't use them, but these days, like I might take some of the accessories out. I'm also like there'll probably be like blast effects for his gun and stuff, and just because it is the most anti-consumer thing that you could possibly do, the blast effects will of course be incompatible with the current War for Cybertron line because that's the way all the Masterpiece blast effects have been so far. But I digress, and I shall terminate that line of bitching right now because it's not going to help anyone. Anyway, there we go. So Masterpiece Cliff Jumper. Oh Lord, he coming.
He's coming quick.
I think that sums up nicely. Let's look at the next figure. So we've already seen the release of. This one's coming. It is the repaint of Masterpiece RC into Masterpiece Nightbird. Lots of goals being kicked with this. You can see the face sculpt, and you can almost see why RC's controversial chest design with it's very very low down. You can almost see why with the Nightbird face, because there's an extended part that comes down from the face for the chin, and that wouldn't work if RC's chest design was higher up. So very interesting to see how that plays out here. Nightbird comes with a lot of extra guns and accessories and weapons, which is kind of befitting the character. It's it's our first Masterpiece RC repaint. Whether it'll be the last, we don't really know. I could certainly expect to see a Lifeline or a Medic or something else coming in there. What do you guys think of Masterpiece Nightbird?
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like there's something that follows that. Wow, Brad.
Well, sticking on that photo there, they ankle tilts, or is that just weird photography where her foot's flat on the ground yet her shin and everything's going that way?
I'm pretty sure. So pretty sure there's a pin there to sort of tilt. So there's a pin to rotate.
That's what my leg really does.
Yeah. Also, just to point out with this, like, I don't think these are actually photos. I think these might be renders, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Because it's weird the proportions and then the way that's bending. Don't you do that every day when you get out of bed? Yeah, and then I hear a pop, and I can't walk for the next hour. I don't have RC. I've stuck with the Generations RC and Nightbird, which are both in the collection that I absolutely love.
Are you a Nightbird fan?
One episode in G1. I think I like the colours and the use of the mould more than RC. I think that's where half of the appeal for this figure comes from. Like, people have seen this come out and they've just gone, yeah, that's a really nice paint job on that, and like it's a really nice complimentary. I think people understand that there's going to be repaints and reuses of molds, and when they're good, we applaud it, and I think that's ended up happening with Nightbird. Yeah.
Well, it's almost kind of the fun with masterpieces, looking ahead to, okay, who else is this going to be? Because almost all of them, they are looking ahead to who else they can get out of these molds. Probably because these molds are expensive, so you can get people to buy them twice, all the better. I mean, Inferno comes out, you're going to get a grapple, or maybe they come the other way around, but that was still pretty much it. When someone does Masterpiece Trailbreaker, you can pretty much set aside a space for Masterpiece Hoist. We know that happens. Yeah, and so I'm left to agree that maybe someone was thinking ahead with Nightbird's head and RC's chest, because that makes a lot of sense for what we're looking at now. So I think this one looks pretty good.
Yeah, and that's it. Like we've criticised in the past, like before, the Red Bumblebee, Gold Bug, all that Masterpiece Bumblebee stuff, whatever they done Magnus into, the red and blue. I can't remember what he's called now. Repainting
Delta Magnus.
That was hard to remember. Doing all those sort of repaints for those sort of figures, and here we got another repaint of RC to get our single. I'm pretty sure on our Primal, they done a red Primal, didn't they? So the Fire Convoy.
They did.
So even some of the Beast Wars,
and there's also the Supreme Commander version.
Yep, Shadow Panther. So, some of the Beast Wars figures have been copied as well. So, but there are still some of those figures, Star Saber, like we said before, that are one-off, haven't been touched repaint wise, which probably cost them a lot of money to produce. And so these repaints, good or bad, that are paying for those. And I think this is a good one.
What would have been the figures? I mean, look, let's take it from like MP10 onwards. What are the ones that they haven't reused? I mean, it's Star Saber. Well, from MP10 onwards. So it's like Star Saber, Beast Megatron, and there's probably another couple. There's probably a couple in there. A Hound. Hound hasn't been reused. Sorry, what was that, Daria?
Dinobot.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Dinobot. I think possibly a lot of the beasts are probably single uses at the moment. I don't know whether they're going to go back and repaint them or not. It's worth also remembering that like we've been missing conventions for the last couple of years, and sometimes Takara slips out a Masterpiece repaint for a convention. So maybe once we get back on the bandwagon for conventions, maybe we'll start seeing some odd little repaints of Masterpieces coming out.
Well, saying that, has RC come out? Or is she still... She's out and people have got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Datsuns, fair enough, it's repainted the same 3 times, but they haven't done anything outside of Datsun 1, 2, and 3, have they?
As in Blue Streak,
Smoke
animated
colours, radio. They've done a whole lot in their colours yet.
They fiddled around with blue streak / silver streak a couple of times.
Yeah. Several times, yes.
So yeah, no, there's a couple there that haven't touched yet, but
can I ask
cost some money.
Can I ask a stupid question? Looking at this picture on screen with Nightbird sort of showing off some of her accessories with like
she's flying.
There's a ninja star and also the size. Now the size clip onto her forearms. Does that just strike anyone else as particularly dangerous? That thing just possibly stabbing you in your own arm?
No, because they're above the arm.
I don't know.
She tries to fold her arms or something.
Yeah, I reckon that doesn't necessarily hold true, Brian. I reckon Masterpiece Nightbird might be able to have a go at her own arm, but size are not necessarily super sharp. I think as well. They're more for things with.
They're a defensive weapon, not offense. From memory,
despite what Raphael would have you believe.
Yeah, but they are pointy, so
depends at the pointy end. But yeah.
So
anyway, I just thought it was funny looking at this. I'm just like that's really large on her forearm, and like it does look like it could stick into the top of her arm. But
well, she could elbow someone thinking she just knocked them out and clocked them in the nose, and look over and see the size going through their forehead and go, "Whoops!"
It's true. I mean, like that seems possibly in character for Nightbird. But yeah,
without the voice, of course.
I think we might move on. I think we've had a good chat about Masterpiece Nightbird. Is she on anyone's buy list?
I'm going to have a look and see what she's going for in places.
Yeah. Yep. I'm happy with the Generations one. So.
Yeah, that's the problem. If I get her here, I'm going to have to get RC as well, which means they're going to replace the Generations one. So it all come down to price and availability.
Yeah. Fair enough too. Let's move on to one more masterpiece, which is, and I'm going to mess up the pronunciation on this.
It's been so long you've forgotten.
Daria, we talked about this before we started the stream, and I can't remember. Daria, could you please tell me how to pronounce this character's name?
Shorky.
So Shorky is the first that we've seen of Takara's much discussed Project Raiden, which is going to be a masterpiece train combiner. Raiden. Yeah, see, I knew this was going to happen, right?
You shouldn't have invited the chick of the extended Japanese family onto this episode.
No, because then we would have just gone in the comments.
I'm absolutely okay with being corrected on pronunciation. Please, I make very little apology for the fact that I am Australian and often mangle things from other cultures. I mean, I make much apology for that, but I can't do much about it. So this project was revealed a good couple of years ago now. I think it was to do with an anniversary, and we haven't seen much of it since. We did get a little bit. We did get a little bit of information on it that the project is continuing a few months ago, and some information basically saying that it's probably going to be a little bit sort of about the scale of a Combiner Wars combiner, which is interesting when you consider a masterpiece scale. I think it means these bots are not particularly huge myself, and I think you can also sort of see like almost a little bit of a Combiner Wars aesthetic in the panels and the details on this guy, but you can also see there's going to be a bit of MP engineering going on there as well. So you can see sort of where the panels that make up the side of the train are sort of folding in and around limbs. And I'm pretty sure that there's definitely some ankle tilts happening there as well. Should be a really impressive set. There's going to be 6 figures in the set when it comes out. It's not going to be a cheap combiner, I think, but we'll see how it ends up. Daria, is this something that's on your radar? Is something that you'd like to purchase this set?
Maybe. I kind of want to know more about how it's going to turn out.
It's true. Like we have no idea how the combined form will look. We're only looking at we're only looking at a train and its robot mode in here.
Yeah, and so we're also a bit shaky on size and what have you, and
Yeah, as you said, if it's going for Combiner Wars size scale, So this is the 6 spots of Rail Racer as a combiner. Is it the same character as Rail Racer? Or is that
I am going to defer to Daria for that.
No, I don't think they are.
Okay.
I also know Rail Race is one of those names they kind of chucked about, and for a while they were just sticking it to anyone who was a train.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think Raiden and the train bots are their own thing. So yeah, unlike the Robots in Disguise one, there's 6, not 3 of them. And
yep.
So I'm wondering about how they're going to fit this lot together, how it's going to look in the long run. And this isn't actually the best picture of.
No,
it's definitely not. I'm actually wondering if we're looking at a combiner port on the back rear of the train up there as well.
Yeah,
or a weapon plug.
Yeah, also possible.
So basically, the train mode is from this angle just a rod, a stick, and so we can't see any train detailing other than on the front, which also makes it a very hard call to make on is this any good or what have you. I mean, I trust Takara enough to know that I think there will be some impressive engineering, but without knowing what that actually will come to, it's hard to make any kind of do I want or even do I like it call about all 6 at this point.
Yeah, I think we're like looking at the details on the bot is about twice the width of the train, so you can sort of guess that, like, you know, he sort of folds up and, you know, limbs go up and form the train and compress down at the front. I'm actually just amused at just how much the front of the train looks like it might double as a space shuttle.
Masterpiece Skylinks. Looking back at 2 things previous. Combiner Wars Devastator, we know that was originally designed Masterpiece wise but scaled back for the Combiner Wars price point. What they've done with that, this scaled down to be a bit smaller figure but still a 6-figure combiner. Again, going off depending on price, I think, and it should look pretty good as a masterpiece. It's our first masterpiece combiner, so I'm looking forward to seeing more figures.
I was just going to bring up the comment for the live comment saying it is the first MP combiner. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Unless you count
an interesting
Star
choice,
Saber.
Therefore, but I suppose all the rest, all if not, pretty much all the rest were taken care of in the previous generation's toys. So yeah.
That's true, and I mean, there's also a lot of third-party options out there for Superion and the like. So, if Takara was to go, right, we're doing a masterpiece Superion, they would probably be leaving money on the table. So why not go for something that not a lot of companies have done?
And it's a Japanese bot for the I'm going to say headmasters and that sort of era.
You know what, Brad? you mentioned Combiner Wars Devastator, and I actually think it's really interesting. Like, I can see some Combiner Wars Devastator in this robot mode, like the way that the Constructicons came out. Like the Combiner Wars Constructicons were a lot simpler when they came out as Voyagers, but you can sort of see that little bit of sort of level of engineering and the way it sort of stands and detail and stuff. So I don't think you're off base on that. I think there's definitely an element of that, and it's probably also it is worth noting that when they say it's going to be a Combiner Wars scale figure, we don't know whether they mean Devastator or if they mean Superion. Like, they're both very
that was
different.
Another question I had.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because that's a thing. Like, even you look at sort of some of the transformations on Devastator, any of his individual bots, whether, well, obviously the size or complication, engineering was brought down for a smaller price point, but you sort of combine what some of those figures do to your third-party stuff, Giant, Toy World, any of those, well, all of a sudden, Bone Crusher's blade is one piece now. It's going to transform and fold down into no pieces, so it's packs on his backpack. That's not what G1 done. So Masterpiece being Masterpiece, going for that G1 aesthetic and that, again, I'd have to look at photos or content where the character is in the cartoon to see what it looks like. But There's going to be sort of that basicness to the transformation, but should be some good engineering in it.
I think so. Yeah. All right. I think that does it for news. We've actually run to like well over an hour now. So I'm gonna kick the news out of the screen and return us to just the three of us. And it's time for us to move on to acquisitions. Do you all have any new bots to show off and play with on stream?
No.
I haven't
excuse my chair squeaking as I do that, but yeah.
I've still got the bots from the last time I was on.
They're still on your desk.
They're still on my desk.
Yeah.
I
have one new acquisition.
That's yours.
Yeah, one that's actually mine, as opposed to the rest of the communities, and that is the Origin Bumblebee.
Oh.
There he is.
Cool.
Causing much consternation in the community as people try to get their hands on this guy. As you can see, I have no idea how to transform it properly because the windscreen I haven't clicked in properly.
Stand on it.
TCCA's good friend Mr. Michael Villa explained in detail to me on Facebook the other night how to do it, and I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know. It's okay. I'll do it properly at some point. But hang on a sec. He comes with these little energon rods things. And he comes with a
cortex.
Fluorescent
tubes.
He comes with no good reason. He comes with a jetpack and a gun. I'm like a TV weather girl. Jetpack and gun. Which, if you look at the picture on the box, they're grey. If you look at the plastic, it's black. The jetpack attaches to any 5mm port, so you can put that on there. And rather ingeniously, and I'm just going to pull it out. I only noticed this from someone's comments this morning. Wait a second. I'm gonna mangle my Balventron blast effect here. Hang on. And so
do you have the Earthrise Prime near you anyway? Does it have a 5mm port on its back?
I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I have seen this attached to an Earthrise Prime.
I'm just thinking jetpack.
So not only does he have a the jetpack has a 5mm port on it there. You can just see that in front of my face there. But also, it's got 5mm ports that you can attach blast effects to. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, you can attach that. These blast effects are probably too tall for most bots, but let's see. Who can I attach this to? Any of the bots on my desk with a 5mm port on their back are good for this. So who's going to get a jetpack? It's going to be Kingdom Cyclonus. There we go. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Nice color match too.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty cool, right? Off it goes.
Up and away, my beautiful balloon.
Wait a sec. I can. What?
Delayed.
Hang on. We can do this. Oh no. Blast effect down. We can. Hang on.
Prime jets on.
We can do this. Ready? There you go. You'll believe an evil Decepticon can fly. There we go. Wow. Off he goes. So yeah, there's quite. I was going to put it on Cloud Rodimus because he's just sitting here, but too late. I decided that it worked better on Cyclonus. There's actually quite a lot of play value in Bumblebee because he comes with those energon rods, which. This is the most annoying thing that I've seen in a long time, right? Because the energon rods, if you can see, I'm just going to put myself up full screen. Oh my god, I'm looking at myself. So the energon rods are 5mm
at the very ends.
Yeah, nope.
They're in the middle. Okay.
That means that at the ends. They're not. And it means you can't insert them into a 5mm port and have a character hold them in their hand. You have to put them in a character whose hand opens and closes. That significantly limits your options for characters that can hold this. And of course, Origin Bumblebee cannot.
Ooh. Which takes us back to the the... Oh, don't worry about it.
Well, it takes you back to the Earthrise Prime mold. You asked if I had an Earthrise Prime around, and like the hands on that mold do open and close.
Haslab. Who did we talk about before Haslab? He didn't have opening hands, articulated hands either, I've seen.
Victory Saber?
Victory Saber, yeah, didn't have
Victory
articulated
Saber,
hands.
I think if you go back to this, hang on, I think you will find that... hang on, I'll put this back up. No, that's all right. I think you'll find that he has Jetfire-style hands.
Oh, okay, a big hand. Okay.
Which is, I think that's pretty... that's why I also think that he's pretty much the size of Jetfire, because they've reused those hands. So Jetfire's hands... Hang on, I'll kick out the screen share again. Jetfire's hands have a gimmick where when the hand is closed, an adapter slides out with a 5mm port in it, so that as you close his hand, you can put a gun in it. And that's one of the nicer... Excuse me. It's one of the nicer hand designs of the last few years. I do still think that the pinnacle of Transformers hand design is probably Commander Class Rodimus Prime at this point, just in terms of being able to grip things and the amount of detail and posability that he gets in his hands. One live question from viewers: is that B getting a local release? The answer is I don't know. I can tell you what we've been told, which is no, it's not. However. So it depends on what you mean by a local release, right? So the word is that
Target.
It's not coming to any stores, and also Brad, Target doesn't exist.
I'll fight that. I'll fight that.
It's not coming to any local stores, but you can still order it in Australian dollars. So like if you go to zavvi.com.au, it's $47 on Zavi. So for some reason, right, this guy's really expensive. He is the size of a deluxe figure, but he's about $10 more on top of a deluxe. I don't know why. It seems to be a thing with the buzzworthy Bumblebee line. They're just a premium price point. But you can order this guy for $47 from Zavvi, but he won't be out until January 2022. But if you want the character, just you can either pay and import it from Asia now, or you can just give Zavvi your money and wait until January. See how you go.
I can imagine
it's available.
They'd make
Asia.
a lot less of these than what you would the World War II Bumblebee. It's just been repainted into a silver one.
We didn't even bring that one up either.
I didn't even put in there.
that one had a hilarious typo on its box as well. Bumblebee. It's just it's more proof of Hasbro having trouble with spell checking when working from home. But yeah. Anyway,
no, I'm seeing a lot of people now wanting a wheeljack in that aesthetic that Bumblebee can fit inside, which would make sense figure wise. But
I think it's interesting that a lot of people are asking for a Cybertronian wheeljack now. As like everyone. First of all, everyone asked for a Cybertronian Bumblebee, and then and for years it was like, no, they wouldn't do that. And now it's like, oh shit, they did that. Okay, how about a wheeljack? Never mind. How about a wheeljack? Like if maybe if all of the fans ask for it and say it enough, maybe they will collectively will it into existence.
Well, you watch the third parties,
or maybe someone from Hasbro. Now. Yeah. One of the third parties will do a compatible wheeljack.
There's only one company that's ever done a pre-Earth B like that coming out.
I think it was Mass Toys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something like that.
And Mass Toys disappeared up themselves with a crowdfunding misappropriation of funds, which didn't exactly go well for their reputation.
So that B might not have even existed in the physical form.
The B exists. He's called Skiff, but they attempted to crowdfund a bot after that, and then they made off with the money. Also, they say someone else made off with the money.
Was that the gold one?
Maybe. Why not? Sure.
Oh no! That's stirs.
There's no way I'm giving Mass Toys any of my money anymore. So sure.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, I think that brings us to a swift end of new acquisitions and reminiscing about yesterday's third party releases. I think we're about done. Does anyone have anything else that we need to talk about for this episode?
No.
I think we've hit the headlines. Yeah.
All right, cool. We're done. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching along with the live record. We have seen that number ticking over as people log on and log off on a Saturday afternoon checking us out. You will find out more about these stories and more with links to them in the show notes or the story notes. You can get in touch with us on Facebook. Our official site is transformersweekly.podbean.com. There is an Australian Transformers Weekly page on Facebook, and of course you'll find all three of us in the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook. If you're not already subscribed, you'll find the podcast on your podcatcher of choice and distinction. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy, money and Saturday afternoons to make life in Australia collecting Transformers better for everyone. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country. We do it by engaging the community by doing things like this. You'll find more information about the benefits of TCCA membership and how to show your support for what we do at transformerscca.com. You will also find TCCA on Twitter at TransformersCCA. You'll find me on Twitter at JM77, tilting at various windmills. Daria, you are also on Twitter. Do you want to give out your Twitter account?
I am at Vindaloo Vixen on Twitter, and I could be saying any old thing there.
Well, hang on a second. So if we slow that down a little bit and we say Vindaloo Vixen, I can do this and go, there we go, twitter.com/Vindaloo Vixen. And I've missed an underscore, haven't I? Or something like that.
I keep forgetting myself, so I'm going to check right now.
Well, yeah.
There's an underscore.
There is an underscore. Okay, I'm just going to leave that off now, and I'm going to put mine up instead. You can find me on Twitter at James77.
I'm touching my screen. It's not linking. You haven't linked it.
I'm going to stop playing with the banner function in StreamYard now. I'm going to turn that off. Brad, you've also got the Budget Adventure Show going on YouTube, but it's on hiatus. It's on hiatus in lockdown. Is that right?
No, it's not. No, just released episode 7. I was able to get it out just before lockdown started again. So episode 7's out there where I'll visit some local history for old mining dredge and some of the national parks in the area. So
it's fantastic. Yeah. Excellent. And that's season 2 as well.
Yeah, I was supposed to be going to Cape York tomorrow. I had a 4.5 week trip planned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do it if you like budget for 2 weeks of hotel quarantine in each location, right?
Well, last time when New South Wales and Queensland had their border dispute, Cameron Quarter Gate was padlocked by Parks and Rec or whoever. That hasn't happened this time, so I don't know what the border situation is with Queensland if you don't
it's
go
no
through
longer
the
locked.
populated
They will
areas.
now just chase you down and shoot you.
There's probably a way. Driving around Queensland with a Victorian registered vehicle is probably a sure way of being arrested.
No, it has to be New South Wales. Victoria is blameless in this outbreak now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we might be getting a little bit off topic. That is it from us, and thank you for watching, everyone. And we will be back with more Transformers news for you, along with witty banter and repartee soon.
Don't forget the COVID jokes.
Yeah, and those too.